This video will inform you how to manage non-renewable resources successfully. A good starting point in managing any resource is knowing how much of the resource we actually have. We could talk about billions of cubic meters of natural gas and millions of tons of iron ore, but to non-experts, these numbers are almost meaningless.
It is much more understandable to use the R/P ratio. It is a ratio between the reserves of a resource and its production. R stands for reserves, or how much of the resource is available in the ground. P stands for production, or how much of the resource is being taken from the ground each year. For example, if the reserves of a particular mineral are 1 million tons, and the production is 100,000 tons per year, the R/P ratio is 1 million divided by 100,000, which equals 10. All of this mineral will be gone in 10 years if there are no changes in the reserves and/or production. The R/P ratio of any reserve is constantly changing up or down. Because of this, the ratio is an easy way to understand how we are doing with the resource.
The first major category of non-renewable resources is fossil fuels. Fossil fuel, a noun which means a natural fuel such as coal or gas, formed in the geological past from the remains of living organisms. Examples include natural gas, oil, peat, and coal. In Canada, the two most important of these are oil and natural gas. On a global scale, coal is of great importance. Although not much of coal itself is used in Canada, Canada does export a considerable amount of coal to Asia. What do fossil fuels have to do with oil, natural gas, and coal? All these fuels were formed from the remains of plants and animals that lined more than 100 million years ago. After they died, sediments that gradually became layers of sedimentary rock covered them. Meanwhile, the plant and animal remains decomposed and were converted into fossil fuels.
A fossil fuel that would be considered enormously important and controversial are oil sands or tar sands. Those who are in support of this resource would call it oil sands, while those who oppose to it name it tar sands. Oil tar sands are deposits of sand contains a heavy form of crude oil called bitumen. Oil sand is a naturally occurring petrochemical, whereas tar is a synthetically produced substance.
Energy in Canada is used in 4 sectors: industrial, transportational, residential, and commercial. Current energy demand for each sector is 40% industrial, 25% transportational, 14% residential, and 13% commercial. Mineral, a solid inorganic substance of natural occurrence. The second major category of non-renewable resources. Unlike fossil fuels, minerals can be recycled, such as popcorns or old cars. Canada is one of the world's leading mining nations. Minerals can be divided into 2 categories, metallic or non-metallic. They are often found in rocks. Rocks that contain a significant amount of a mineral are called ore. The ore must be processed to separate the waste rock from the valuable minerals.
It's quite easy to find valuable minerals. You could pick up an interesting rock and a geologist could tell you it contains nickel, copper, silver, and even gold. Are you about to get rich? Most likely not. The trick, of course, is to find a high enough concentration of minerals to make mining and processing worthwhile. Mineral deposits rich enough to justify the mining are known as mineral reserves, and they are then counted in the RP ratio. New reserves must be found at least as quickly as the old ones are used up. If not, the RP ratio goes down.
There are 3 different methods in which mining companies choose from. What is chosen depends on the depth and the shape of the deposit. Also, factors such as environmental protection and worker safety.
Strip mining is the cheapest of them 3, but can only be used for mineral deposits located very close to the surface. Strip mining is used to extract minerals such as sand, gravel, some coal deposits, and oil sands. It has the most severe environmental impact, since very large areas of the surface must be disturbed.
Open pit mining is more expensive than strip mining. It is used for materials relatively close to the surface, but deeper that can be accessed by strip mining. Examples of minerals mined by open pit mining are some diamond deposits, oil sands, and iron ore deposits. Underground mining is the most expensive mining method. It is used to extract potash and valuable ores such as gold, nickel, and copper that may be more than 1,000 meters below Earth's surface. In extreme cases, underground mines can be 3,000 meters deep. Regardless of which method they choose or how carefully it's done, mining is disruptive, whether it is natural environments, river systems, or aboriginal land. Mining is destructive to the area around.
For generations, geologists suspected that diamond-bearing rocks must exist somewhere in the Canadian Shield. The geology in the region was just too similar to other parts of the world, such as South Africa, where major diamond deposits exist. 2 diamonds were found in a stream nearby Wisconsin in the 1800s, setting off a major diamond rush, which quickly died down when no more of the precious gems were found. Still, as recently as 1998, there existed no RP ratio for diamonds in Canada, since both resource and production were an absolute zero. And according to Mr. Jansen, all men in the room, you aren't getting married unless you buy her a diamond.
Why was finding diamonds in Canada so hard? Well, for starters, Canada was covered in glaciers. But regardless, diamonds themselves are a rare find. Glaciation caused 2 big problems. The first is that glaciers move, and when they moved indicator minerals, an igneous rock called kimberlite, which diamonds were found in. From moving too much, the kimberlite spread, making it harder to pinpoint where they were located. They soon figured that they were located in small ponds and lakes in the Canadian Shield.
Of course, no good thing could go without a problem. Most of the land mined on was owned by Aboriginals. An agreement entails that at least 40% of workers must be Aboriginal. Training programs were being made available so they were able to get jobs.
Most people wouldn't prefer working near wind farms, oil sands refineries, or pipelines, but all want to have a reliable access to gasoline and electricity. In 2005, the Ontario government closed a coal-fired generating station in Mississauga. Almost everyone applauded this action because coal plants are dirty and contribute significantly to global warming. People in the generating station's backyard were particularly pleased with the closure. But closing this plant reduced Ontario's generating capacity, which meant there was a need for new generating stations. 2 of these were to be modern, much cleaner gas-fired plants in Mississauga and Oakville, but that plan was not popular in those cities. This and an impending election led to the Ontario government cancelling these plants at a cost of over $1 billion. And that was managing non-renewable resources successfully, brought to you by Triple JNS.